Good afternoon, YouTube. Home Theater Joe here. I had mentioned the other day something about a little price hike in AVRs, processors, and how I thought it was going to filter its way down through to everything else in the industry, speakers, whatnot. So I'd just like to touch on that a little bit more and actually like to get a little bit of feedback, hopefully. So I guess I should say that I've been, kind of eyeballing a couple of AVRs because if you follow the channel, you know that come October, when Yamaha is going to do their upgrade chipset program free of charge, I'll be sitting in my receiver just to see how that whole process, how that process works, and how the Yamaha customer service experience is. So I've been eyeballing a Denon 4700, and I'm having some thoughts. I'd like to get them out here. So the 4700 has some great features, great feature set for the price. Prior to these price hikes, it was $17.99 at Denon's website. So you get a good feature set and a very decent AVR. Man, I honestly think it's probably the best value AVR on the market in 2021. So with the price hikes, which we'll put some stuff over here or over there, whatever, but we'll give you some prices, and we can see clearly now that the Denon 4700 is at $19.99. So what does that do, for me? What does that mean to me? Well, first of all, I think it means inflation is here to stay, which is bad, and I'm not going to go into that. But I think it's here to stay. Moving on. I don't know if it's still the best value in 2021, because at $17.99 before taxes, USD, you're probably looking right around $2,000, maybe a hair below. That's a great value. But you up it just a couple hundred, even if, let's just assume that the 4K 120 or 8K 60 problem is now resolved and we have a working chipset. We need to keep in mind that when it comes to Denon, there's only one 4K 120 or 8K 60 in and one out. So that's a total of 2 HDMIs on the whole board that can handle 4K 120 or 8K 60. A company like Yamaha right now is advertising that all 7 of their HDMI ins are 4K 120, 8K 60 capable. So just a side note, something to maybe keep in mind. Also, Yamaha's asking top dollar for their AVRs in 2021, back end here of 2021. Denon, again, has moved this receiver up to 2K USD before taxes. So for me, it just puts the 4700 kind of in this no man's land, if you will. I think to myself, if I'm going to spend $2,000 on an AVR, which I personally, I want to move to separates, but I don't have the money for that. I'm a budget guy. I got to take my time, and hey, whatever. We'll do it in steps. At $2,000 before taxes, what am I really, to me, I'm thinking, you might as well spend the extra $1,000 and enter the separate zone. Separates, right? So it's definitely muddled the conversation, because the 6700 went from $2,500, $2,499, to now, I believe it's $2,999, which puts the 6700 squarely in separates territory. Now we're talking about Emotiva XMC2 money. We're talking, HTC1 money. I mean, 4700.
HTC1 is actually $3,700, not $4,700.
Sure, that's going to go up to 4K. But if we're talking $3,000 now for an AVR in 2021 that only has 2 HDMI, 4K 120s, one in, one out from Sound United, I just don't know that that doesn't seem worth it. So for me, the 6700's out. It's too much money. If I'm going 3K, it's got to be a processor. All right. So let's go back. Here we are at the Denon 4700, 2K before taxes. I don't know. Can I justify that? Because what Yamaha's done right now is very interesting. So you can get a 9-channel processor from Yamaha right now for $2,100, $2,199. 7 HDMI ins with 4K 120, 8K 60. Better build quality, but it's literally only 9 channels, I believe. The A6A, $2,100, $2,199. So, do I plan on hooking up more than one 4K 120 device? Well, I don't even have one, to be honest. But in the future, I do. I do plan on having one. I plan on having multiple. So, that's an issue. Like, where do we go here in the AVR discussion? Again, this is a temporary AVR, but this is just something I need to get through that Yamaha time. But anyway, so we need to wrap a bow on this. Like, where do we go? I think in 2021, the best value, probably the best bang for your buck is still probably the 4700, even at 2K. I feel like the 6700 is now priced itself. Sound United has now priced itself right out of a reasonable value, and sticking it at 3K, 3,000 USD really just puts it in a category I'm not sure that it needs to be in. But I could be wrong. I think, though, when it's all said and done, at the end of 2021, the best receivers on the market are going to be the Yamahas. I don't care about YPOW. I mean, you can run other room correction. You don't have to be stuck with YPOW. So that, to me, is not it's not the biggest issue. And here's another question in the whole AVR processor separates debate, which is really becoming prevalent here in 2021 and 2022 moving forward. Forget about HDMI 2.1 full bandwidth specs. One of the real issues is the number of channels amplified or even processed in these machines. Do we need 16? I don't know. So, that's another question. Like, it kind of seems like in display technology, we're forced 8K. And in the 4K displays technology that are still coming out, the technology that they're still working with, they're not putting their best stuff in that. The best stuff, these companies reserve their best stuff for their high-end models. And in this case, for displays, it'd be 8K. So receivers and AVRs are kind of the same way. They're going to reserve their best technology for their higher-end stuff. So we're stuck at, if we want the good DACs, if we want the good room correction and this, that, and the other, well, you got to go with at least 11 channels. And, if you want a processor, you're going to be fed 16 channels, whether you want them or not. So it's just this concept. Listen, I think what I'm trying to say is, 2021, the back end here of 2021, I don't think it's a good time to buy an AVR. I don't think 2022 is going to get any better. So I don't know. But I'm just having all these thoughts about it here recently, and it's becoming just a decision that maybe I need some help with. So, I would really appreciate it, as I always do, that if you guys would comment on what you think is probably, the best bang for your buck in AVR, something that I would enjoy testing out come October for maybe a couple of months, And again, I'm a budget guy. I don't want to kill the bank, but I want to hear your suggestion. What do you guys think is, the best bang for your buck, the best value in AVRs, or even, low-end processors, or I should say, excuse me, entry-level processors? I would really like to know what the community thinks. So please comment below, good, bad, or indifferent, and let me know. Let us know. Okay, I guess that's it. Yep, we're done. As always, thank you for listening. Be good, be safe,